sorry, I hope I'm wrong, but our first 8 games could be season defining. If we lose against the big teams, heads could drop and go back to last season dross, says David. Look, I think the big thing that nobody wants to discuss about last night, and I get the fact that it's the tour, it's a bit of a PR machine, there's a lot of positivity. I was, obviously Beth's over there, and she says people are really buzzing, and I get all that because it's an intoxicating place, New York and the States, and there's a lot of buzz. It's pre-season, etc. And I do get all that, but I also think realism is really important. We did finish 15th. We did lose to Spurs. We haven't done enough. We've still got major weaknesses in the squad. And on top of that, we scored first in that game. And I think we all know when Man United score first or things are going well, we're all right. When things go bad, then that's the problem. And actually, it wouldn't be a bad thing if Bournemouth, Everton, one of them scored first against us to see what it's all about, because I think we're fine when we score first. I think if we'd scored first in the Europa League final, we'd have won it. The problem is when things go wrong, and that's something that we're going to have to learn again and see if we've improved on, because I think you're absolutely right. The Beast says, if Wizza is pushing for a move, is that a move we should try and hijack? Oh, we have done that one, thank you. Watch the Gym by João Felix from Chelsea. Yeah, well, João Felix is going to Saudi for about 50 million quid, isn't he? Chelsea they're just an absolute beast, aren't they? And I don't say it from a position of it's wrong. I say it from a position of jealousy, just how good they actually are when it comes to transfers. Let me just update you on what Ruben Amorim had to say then as well. He said about Agate, first thing is adaptation to a new team. As I said, you can check out the interview with Agate that we have up on the channel, which Beth conducted last night. Nice to get those exclusive interactions with some of the players, so you can check that out. But this is what Amorim had to say about it, and effectively, let me just get the direct quote. So it's Amorim talking about the midfield, really. First thing is adaptation to a new team. When they're talking about Agate, a new country, sometimes we just look inside the pitch. Off the pitch, you have some troubles sometimes. He's more adapted now, and then I think he needs more confidence, and that is also my job. And I think that on Agate is absolutely spot on. I think there is just this relentless impatience, certainly within the Manchester United fan base, to not look at context. Agate came into the team after pre-season, after 3 games, right at the end of August, had no pre-season. Within no time, the manager that bought him is sacked. You've then got another interim. Then you've got Amorim, who basically comes in December. And it was just a very disruptive first season, which is why I think Mazraoui and De Ligt deserve a lot of credit, because they were actually quite consistent amongst that disruption, and they were players that had played for Ten Hag before. So that would have been quite unsettling. But certainly Agate had no pre-season. And, I think there were some sporadic good games, but there were some, questionable ones as well. Which is why I think most of us have looked at this season and gone, when you look at Gravenberch at Liverpool, his first season was pretty much the same as Agate. It was a bit disrupted. But his second season was really good. Settled, pre-season, understands the league, has a manager that supports him. So I think, it's a big season for Agate. And I'm certainly not going to say Agate's the solution after a pre-season game against West Ham for an hour, but he was a lot better than Casemiro was against Leeds because he's got the mobility. I think you have to have a player like that in your midfield. And I think with Agate, people forget he's in his mid-20s. He's a player that can do that role, and hopefully he'll be given the opportunity to do it. There are limitations. I think sometimes on the ball he's a bit questionable, but the tenacity, the speed across the ground, the aggression, we need that type of a player. And I think he's got to be utilised in that midfield if that's what we're going for.